Afternoon everyone, welcome to Lost Chris Beach. I'm here with dog-Rio and I'm going to tell you today how we ended up with him, how we rescued him and why you should rescue a dog as well. And I'm going to tell you a little bit of a story while we're walking. We've got the sun going down, so stride on. What'd you say, Rio? I think he wants a walk. So I'm going to actually cast you back to about 12 years ago, and you may be wondering why. We were here on holiday and we actually found a dog in the middle of Lost Chris, and he was limping, he had a bad leg, bad hip, so we helped him out. He was abandoned, no one wanted him, all the restaurants were just feeding him scraps. So we took him up to Canine Rescue Centre all those years ago. Fell in love with the dog. He was about 10 months at the time. Fell in love with him, and in the end Mum and Dad actually flew him back to England and rescued him. So he was our family dog. He still is, and he's called Teddy after the volcano, of course. So we got Teddy back in England, rescued him, flew him all the way from Tenerife. Back then he had to go into quarantine and everything with the rabies jabs, everything. So we got him back and he's been our amazing family dog all these years. I moved here 6 years ago, and in that time Mum and Dad thought about maybe getting another dog, a second dog. My sister was here as well, and she spotted a dog on Facebook that was up for adoption, which is Rio here. And we showed Mum and Dad, and they were like, oh, you got to go and see him, he looks just like Teddy, we might have him, we might fly him back, go and see him. So me and Laura and my sister went up to see him. He was up for adoption. He'd been abandoned by the owner. They dropped him off and never ever picked him up again from the pet hotel. So he was abandoned. Went to see him, fell in love with him, and in the end me and Laura rescued him and refused to send him back to Mum and Dad. He was staying with us. He was originally called Charlie. We renamed him to Rio because he was the rescue centre he was in. The pet hotel was in El Rio, so we preferred the name Rio, so that's where that name came from. And yeah, he's been our little menace ever since. So Mum and Dad have still got Teddy back in England, back in Liverpool in the house. He's about, he's nearly 16 now, so I'm probably I need to go back further than 12 years. It must have been 16 years ago that we found him in the streets of Lost Chris. And we've got Rio here in our apartment, and he loves it. There was no way I was sending him back to England. He was definitely staying with us. He's been fully adopted. So one of the things when we actually got him, he was very scared of people, and we think whoever had him for his first year of his life had trained him to dislike people and other dogs. So it took us a long time to get him out of that and get him used to people. One of the ways I did that was I used to bring him down to the office, and when people would come in and out, he'd have to get used to seeing the people coming into the office as well. So when people would come in, they'd make a fuss of him, and he'd get more used to the people that way. So it was good, and he is good company in the office, aren't you? He is good fun. But I thought it was relevant at the moment because we're coming up to Christmas, and we all know what happens at Christmas. People get the puppies for Christmas, and there's a big stigma around it because the rescue centres then end up full of all these puppies that have been bought. They're a 2-week wonder and then they get given up. So if you are thinking of a dog for Christmas, please rescue a dog. There's so many great dogs in rescue centres that need saving, rather than buying all these designer puppies. They come from loads of these illegal dog breeders as well. It's that same old saying, a dog's for life, not just for Christmas. There's loads of dogs like Rio who are in rescue centres, who've been abandoned, who would love a home rather than buying a puppy. So that's why I thought it was a good time to release the story. I mean, we actually originally flew ours across the Atlantic back to England. You can just pop down to your local dog shelter and rescue one. It's that easy, and you can't beat a rescue dog. You cannot beat a rescue dog. They love the gift that they give you. You don't know what's happened in their past life, but you can show them the love that they deserve, and it's just so much better. So I'm going to insert a picture here of Tady. Who's back in England, and obviously you've seen Rio. I'll insert a couple of pictures of Rio as well. Can see how they look similar. They're both mixes. We don't really know exactly what's in them. Definitely a bit of retriever, definitely a bit of collie, maybe a bit of Labrador as well, but you can see how similar they are, how similar they look. Both super cute, and I can't recommend enough rescuing a dog. I can't understand people who buy them. It just baffles me, to be honest, when there's so many in the shelters desperate for a home. So if I can encourage anything this Christmas, if you're gonna get a dog, rescue one, because the love you'll get back from them is amazing. Absolutely amazing. So, you know what I mean, you also get to enjoy great walks every day, gets you out and about, keeps you exercised. You can come and enjoy the views, have a nice walk, keep fit. But remember guys, a dog is for life, not just for Christmas, not just for Instagram. Rescue a dog. I mean, look at him. How could you leave him behind in a shelter? So there you go guys, that's the story. It's pretty interesting story, I think. I mean, I wouldn't have ended up with him if we hadn't rescued Tady all those years ago from here and flown him over. A big shout out to Canine Rescue Centre as well. I'm going to leave their link in the description. If you're over in Tenerife, you can go and walk some of the dogs and take them out. If you want to do a bit of volunteering, you can give them a walk. You're very welcome. Or you can actually donate to the shelter, help them buy some food and feed the dogs. But yeah, that's it. If you're a dog lover, drop a comment below. Drop a comment what you think might be in the mix of Rio here. Bit of golden retriever, bit of Labrador, bit of collie, a bit of Springer Spaniel maybe. So yeah, I hope you enjoyed that guys. It's a nice quick one. But a few of you are asking about the dog, do a video on him, so there you go. So stay safe, look after your dogs, rescue a dog, and stride on.